Hello, it's 12 hours GMT. This is the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra. We are live in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM. On Facebook, we're streaming live and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Laura FM in Laura, A1 Radio in Bolgatanga, Sky FM in Sunyane, and Victory FM of Plau. Go digital on Spotify and the MindJoy online app. And coming up.
So I think those scenes of Parliament were really unwarranted. And we really hope that it will not be repeated again. The Supreme Court has brought clarity on the matter and should guide the nation going forward.
Supreme Court unanimously rules that a deputy speaker can vote in Parliament and form part of a quorum for decision making. We have details as it declares as valid the approval of the 2022 budget without the participation of NDC MPs. We'll hear from the opposition NDC, which is describing the ruling as a travesty of justice. Also in this package, family of Chieftaincy Minister debunks report of his death, describing it as politically motivated.
What I can tell you is that lawyer Ebenezer Kojo, MP for Hunter West and Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, is not dead. He is alive.
We have more as the family reveals the minister is responding to treatment after being bedridden for a while. Also, how two police officers suspected to be involved in recent bullion van robberies were shot and killed in a major operation at Boteman.
They were under arrest, and in the course of the special exercise at Boteman, they suffered injuries, sent to police hospital, and they passed on.
So you took them to Boteman?
But we were in the company of the police.
We'll hear from a former senior police officer and member of Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee who is blaming poor quality of recruitment processes for the infiltration of criminal elements into the service.
These days, we seem to be downplaying the importance of positive vetting. It is better to recruit 1,000 people and do proper positive vetting and get them into the system. One criminal in police uniform is more dangerous than 100 armed robbers, and we should take it serious. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
We are live in court as the first set of 5 suspects are arraigned.
My passion for boxing is dying. Former world champion Joseph Agbeko claims as he considers ending his career.
Mufta will bring us details in sport, and later in our Ghana Man series this week we shine the light on indigenous Ghanaian dances. Today we'll tell you about Bobobo, the genre and dance of the Ewa people in the Volta region and Oti region.
When you perform Bobobo with your 2 handkerchiefs and you bend over, then your buttocks, those are on the heavy side, the buttocks shake, all right?
Details of these and more in this half-hour package. Please stay with us. Thanks for choosing us. This is your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. I'm Ernest. To the details now. The Supreme Court has ruled that a Deputy Speaker of Parliament can be counted during the formation of a quorum for parliamentary decision-making as well as participate in voting. Now, the court presided over by Justice Jones Doche therefore affirmed the approval of the 2022 budget that took place without the participation of NDC MPs. Private legal practitioner Justice Abdullahi filed the case against the Attorney General. He had asked the Supreme Court to interpret Articles 102 and 104 of the 1992 Constitution and declare the actions of the Deputy Speaker Jose Wusu during the approval of the budget as unconstitutional. The court, however, disagreed. Court correspondent Joseph Akable joins us on the line with details. Joseph, give us the details and the reasons the justices cited for giving this ruling.
And as in terms of the legal basis for these conclusions, the court did not give those details except to read its conclusions on 2 key issues that were presented to it. And the first one has to do with whether or not a deputy speaker or any person presiding can be part of the one half to be counted for a quorum for decision making. The court answered in the affirmative, saying that yes, a deputy speaker or any person presiding can form part of the one half required to form a quorum for parliamentary decision making. Then on the section about whether or not a deputy speaker can vote and take part in the decision making process and does not lose the voting right because he is presiding, the court held the view that the deputy speaker does not lose his voting right when he's presiding and can therefore vote. And in terms of the approval of the budget on November 30, you recall that the NDC MPs did not participate in that particular session, and they had made the argument that by virtue of their non-participation and George also presided, it meant that the one half required to form a quorum for decision making for parliamentary business was not formed. The court said that as a result of this finding that has arrived at, the said decision was valid.
Now, we understand that the court also struck out portions of the standing orders of Parliament.
Specifically, this is Standing Orders 1093, which reads that a deputy speaker or any other member presiding shall not retain his original vote while presiding. The court says this provision in the Standing Orders of Parliament is unconstitutional and therefore struck out these portions from the Standing Orders.
The Attorney General Godfrey Adame has been speaking to you. We'll listen to that interview he granted you, Joseph.
Well, I think it's quite simple and straightforward. I perceive the issues are very simple and straightforward because nowhere in the Constitution has any statement been made that whenever a deputy speaker presides, he loses his right to vote. And indeed, as I indicated in the submissions filed in court, all the circumstances under which a member of parliament will lose his right to vote have actually been spelled out in Article 104 itself. And so it is really devoid of controversy. And it's also very important to know that in all jurisdictions around the world, whenever the Speaker of Parliament or a Deputy Speaker of Parliament is a member of Parliament, he always has the right to vote.
That's the Attorney General Godfrey Adame. Joseph Akable is still with us on the line. Joseph, the lawyer who filed the case has been speaking to you. What was his reaction to the court's decision?
Justice Abdullahi says he's disappointed but not surprised because he's a lawyer and can expect decisions not to go as he wanted.
Surprised? I'm not surprised because I'm a lawyer. I know that going to court, there are only two outcomes. It's not like a football game where there'll be a draw. There will either be a win or a lose. But in this case, I think there's actually no one lost because I think the Constitution wins, the people of Ghana win, and this is the best decision that I think we should have had. It puts clarity on the law, despite the fact that some of the reliefs that I was seeking were not obtained. But there's a far-reaching decision that has been made by the Supreme Court today to the extent of striking out portions of the standing orders. And this is very good for all of us. It puts clarity on the rules of Parliament, and indeed it makes all of us citizens. And I think I would probably use this opportunity to invite all of us to be participants in the democratic credentials of this country.
That's private legal practitioner Justice Abdullahi. Let's go to Parliament now and get the reaction of the minority to this ruling by the Supreme Court. We're joined by the minority leader himself, Haruna Idrisu. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on the Midday News. You have already described this as a travesty of justice. Why is that?
This ruling of the Supreme Court, we are not surprised, but utterly disappointed in the Supreme Court of Ghana, which is ready, determined, willing to support a struggling president with an ailing economy. This ruling of the Supreme Court can at best be described as judicial support for e-levy and setting aside time-tested parliamentary democratic practice, where it is known practice everywhere in the world that a person presiding shall have no original nor casting vote.
Mr. Idrisu, how fair is that when the Supreme Court also acknowledges that the Deputy Speaker himself is an MP?
But what has been made public, just permit me to comment on it. The Supreme Court of Ghana have set aside the standing orders of Parliament, repugnant and preposterous ruling. Article 110 provides that Parliament shall regulate its procedure by standing orders. How can they set that aside, particularly when the Supreme Court, again in this bizarre ruling, is seeking to provide two interpretations to the quorum of Parliament? A quorum of Parliament as provided for in Article 102 of the 1992 Constitution and a different quorum for Parliament under Article 104 of the Constitution. Interesting. You heard the Attorney General talk about a speaker. In Ghana, the speaker cannot be a member of Parliament. And once a member of Parliament is elected speaker, he vacates his post to allow for the impartiality of the office of the speaker. Are we now to respect the MP for Fomina and MP for Bekwai just as members of Parliament, and that understanding Order 13, which the Supreme Court should have read together with Article 102, 104, and even the whole 1992 Constitution, to set aside Parliament standing orders is a serious travesty of parliamentary justice.
You have indicated,
whatever it is, be assured, we will fight e-levy with our numbers that the Ghanaian people gave us in the 2020 election, stitch by stitch, clause by clause. We will make them even know that e-levy itself is pregnant with double taxation, which matter must be brought to their attention to rule on. We are utterly disappointed in the Supreme Court ruling, but we are not surprised. We know of effort to use the court to tilt the balance of power.
Mr. Adrisha, you have indicated that you're waiting for the full brief from the court, based on which you take a decision. But can we expect that the minority or the NDC will appeal the decision?
Everywhere in the world, the vote of the presiding officer is discounted either as Speaker or First Deputy Speaker in accordance with Standing Order 13. Can you ask yourself this simple question? Assuming the First Deputy Speaker is presiding and the Second Deputy Speaker is not immediately available, how is he going to vote and come back and preside and continue to preside? I leave that to the judgment of the Ghanaian people.
Well, we'll leave that here. Thank you very much. That's the Minority Leader, Harun Idris, reacting to the later Supreme Court ruling on whether or not a Deputy Speaker can vote. Well, the Supreme Court says yes, a Deputy Speaker can vote, and portions of the Standing Order of Parliament has also been set aside. We'll bring you more on this in our subsequent bulletins. But other members of Parliament have been reacting. They spoke to parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Parker-Wilson.
I would be shocked, and I am indeed shocked and surprised, because I thought that for purposes of fairness, persons who assume the chair under normal circumstances should not be part of the decision-making process, because you sit there as an umpire. And if you assume the role of an umpire, why should you be allowed to vote? Never mind that the first and second deputy speaker are members of parliament.
So that is James Agalga, but the Deputy Speaker, Joe Osei-Wusu, has justified his decision to participate in voting in the House. Listen to him when he spoke a week ago.
So my insistence is not to vote from the chair, but as and when necessary, I will leave the chair if I'm the one presiding, or the second deputy speaker presiding can leave the chair and change over so that he can also exercise his vote. And that I insist on it.
But you can't do that, because the standing of the 113 on the process for a division is clear. At the time that you call for that voice vote and you, in your discretion, decide the voice vote is not enough to settle the matter, so let's move to a head count. At the time you make that call, you only make that call because you were not part of the voice vote, and so you need a clarity. How then do you become part post that in breaking the tie?
You see, if you go read the whole standing order, the part dealing with head count or division, it says that even a member who was not in the chamber,
true,
and who did not even hear the question put,
is entitled to vote.
Is entitled to vote.
Yes.
What about me?
That's the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joe Osei-Wusu. Now, let's do some other stories now. And family of the Chieftaincy Minister, Ebenezer Kojo has debunked rumors of his death, describing such reports as untruth and politically motivated. According to the family, the minister is well and responding to treatment after being bedridden for a while. Rumors about the death of the minister, who is also MP for Ahanta West, were rife over the weekend, but the family says he's alive and well. Barnabas Annan is the MP's public relations officer.
It is not true. Honorable Lawyer Ebenezer Kojo is alive. He is not dead, as people are reporting. He's alive. My brother, what I can tell you and your viewers or listeners that Lawyer Ebenezer Kojo, MP for Ahanta West and then Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, is not dead. He is alive. He is responding to treatment, please.
My brother, just 3 weeks ago, he was in the constituency somewhere last 3 weeks ago, yes, Thursday. He was in the constituency. Because of our polling station election, he came down, we had a meeting, he left on Friday, and the same Friday he fell sick. So it's not like the way people are reporting that he has been sick for about a month or whatsoever. Just 3 weeks ago. And he has been discharged. The man is responding to treatment. Go and find out from Kolebu. He has been discharged.
That is Barnabas Annan, his PRO for the Chieftaincy Minister Ebenezer Kojo. Now, the family of murdered social media activist in Ejira, Ibrahim Mohammed, popularly known as Kaka Macho, has accused the prosecution of deliberately delaying the case to discourage them from seeking justice for the late activists. Two known New Patriotic Party polling station executives, Husseini Al-Hassan, Isaka Ibrahim, and Idi Mohammed, a brother of the late activist, have been in custody since June last year. There was no show at the Asokwa District Court on Tuesday as the accused person and the prosecutors failed to show up. The court subsequently adjourned the hearing to March 22. Family spokesperson Rabiu Mohammed told journalists the case has already suffered 14 adjournments.
Little resources we have at hand that we need to solely take care of. 5 daughters left behind by Ibrahim Mohammed, Kaka left. These are the same resources we have been using to follow the case in court. We have been following, but the family is not taking it easy. Taking the consideration, just today we are in court, no prosecutor is in court, the suspects are not in court, nothing happened. We have to make our inquiries through the court clerks, and we're told that the case has been adjourned to 22nd of this month. This is quite unfortunate. Why? What is happening? We have been told that for a series of times that the advice is ready from AG. Why is it that the advice is not here? The family is not taking it lightly at all, because we are seeing that, or we are thinking that things are not done right. Because we as a family are thinking that they are making this a series of adjournment, so the family will be constrained of coming, or be thinking that, oh, next time if I even come, it will not come on, then the family will relax. But we are telling them, no matter how they adjourn the case, we will still follow the case till we see the end of the case.
Rabiu Mohammed, a spokesman for the family of murdered social activist in Ejira, Ibrahim Mohammed, popularly known as Kaka Macho. There are fresh details emerging on how 2 police officers who were suspected to be involved in the recent bullion van robberies were shot and killed in a major operation at Boteman in the Greater Accra region. According to the Ghana Police Service, several months of investigation revealed that 6 of its officers were allegedly involved in the robberies. 2 of these suspects led the police to the hideout of the gang where they were killed during a shootout with the gang. Listen to the Director General of Police Public Affairs, DCOP Kwesi Fori, as he provided details of the operation to the Super Morning Show.
They opened fire on the police, and the police also retaliated, and that is why we said we believe some of them might have sustained injuries and are appealing to medical authority to provide us with needed information should they come for treatment.
Okay. When you say they opened fire on the police, who opened fire on the police?
Oh, we are talking about the criminals. We are saying
those
police
criminals
cannot open fire on Esau.
Good.
We're saying that there was an intelligence-led operations, a field operations, that the 2 sustained injuries.
Finally, I just want this to be very clear. This will be question for you. Were they part of the police team that went to Boteman, or they were in Boteman, part of the criminals?
We indicated that they were under arrest, and in the course of the special exercise at Boteman, they suffered injuries, sent to police hospital, and they passed on.
So you took them to Boteman?
But we were in the company of the police.
Were you not wearing any protectives, these persons who went to, as part of the intelligence exercise?
Let me say that it depends. Even if you are in a protective gear, it depends upon where the bullet hit.
That is DCOP Kwesi Fori, his Director General in charge of Public Affairs for the Ghana Police Service. Now, this afternoon, the remaining 4 arrested police officers, Constable Afisu Yaro Ibrahim, Constable Richard Bwedu, Constable Rabiu Jambedu, and Constable Albert Ofosu have been arraigned together with another civilian at Circuit Court 11. Adom FM's Kojo Mensa Abrampa was in court and joins us with an update. Kojo, what can you tell us about the charges preferred against these officers and their plea?
Okay, so Ernest, they denied bail. 2 charges were professed against them: abetment to commit crime, conspiracy to commit crime, and abetment. That were the 2 charges. They were not able to plead for. They were denied bail. Their lawyer asked for bail, but the court says, looking at the gravity of the crime, they cannot be granted bail today. So the case has been adjourned to 26th of March 2022.
Thank you very much. That's Adom FM's Kojo Mensa Abrampa in court for us. Meanwhile, the retired police officer and member of parliament on the Defense and Interior Committee, Peter Tobu, is blaming the poor quality of recruitment processes for the infiltration of criminal elements into the service. He believes it is time to reinstate the rigorous background checks of officers admitted into the police service.
The criminal investigation department will take your fingerprint and run you through the system. And that is why if you have a national database of biodata, I'm sure that if they run your biodata through the system, you have ever committed any crime anywhere, it will be detected and you will be prevented from donning the uniform as a police officer or even as a soldier. But these days, we seem to be dropping or downplaying the effect of the importance of positive vetting. If it is a financial challenge, it is better to recruit 1,000 people and do proper positive vetting and get them into the system than to recruit 5,000 people. Out of that, probably 10 or 15 of them will be criminals. One criminal in police uniform is more dangerous than 100 armed robbers. One criminal detected wearing police uniform should be treated as a pandemic, and we should take it serious. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We shouldn't be excited about it because this is not the first time. It is neither the last time we are going to see this.
That's Peter Tobu. He's a retired police officer and member of Parliament's Defense and Interior Committee. You're listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Still to come in our Ghana Man series. This week, we shine the light on indigenous Ghanaian dances. Today, we'll tell you about Bobobo, the genre and dance of the Ewe people in the Volta and Oti regions.
When you perform Bobobo with your 2 handkerchiefs and you bend over, then your buttocks, those are on the heavy side, the buttocks shake, all right?
Hey, Evokoku, what brings you to my house this early morning? I hope all is well.
All is never well with me, Nikbabo. After paying 3 times for the land for my project, the construction workers are now giving me wahala. From material overestimation to small stealing. I am tired.
I told you so, Evokoku.
It's all because you are trying to become builders when you're corporate workers and business people. Edlum has products tailored to meet your needs. Villas 3 at Amrahia, where there are finished homes. Conveniente, also at Amrahia, where it's contemporary but super affordable apartments. Prices start from $35,000. And the Avant-Garde, located in Adrigano, which has sleek luxury apartments. For more information, please visit edlumhousing.com or simply call 0270-166-166. Edlum Housing, where spacious homes cost less.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Time now for sports, and Muftal joins us with the latest. Hello, Muftal.
Former 2-time bantamweight world champion Joseph Agbeko says he's considering quitting boxing because of frustration. According to him, his passion for the sport is dying.
When you have that passion inside you, you don't really focus on the financial benefits of the sport. You don't focus on anything. You just enjoy doing it. And that is what I call calling. The prophets are warriors because they fight for God. You know, so boxers are like prophets, you know. So I think I would say gradually the passion is dying.
The passion is dying. When would he come back? Maybe he says he wants to concentrate on unearthing young talents in boxing.
Let's see how that goes. Muftal, thank you very much for bringing us the latest in the world of sports. Now, the Bank of Ghana's official quote for the cedi today is 7 cedis to the US dollar. Now, the cedi has declined almost 15% since January and has been ranked the worst performing among top performing currencies in Africa. Finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Godfred Bokpin, is warning Ghana's economy will be severely battered and may have to seek policy credibility from the International Monetary Fund. He is equally surprised there's no plan by government to reverse the downward trend of the cedi. Speaking on PM Express on the Joy News channel last night, Professor Bokpin blamed the situation on the dominance of foreigners in the economy.
We have just been deceiving ourselves that this is a Ghanaian economy. There's nothing Ghanaian about the Ghanaian economy, right? And at the end of the day, a good way to understand this is that we found just enough food for others to go and eat because the growth is not resident here. Everything is just living. Pick the lucrative sectors of this economy. Ghanaians are visibly absent or missing from that. Pick the banking industry. What is Ghanaian about the Ghanaian banking industry? Look at the players in that industry. Okay, look at telecom. Okay, look at mining.
President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obeng, wants government to review the investment laws to address the challenge.
We should look at the service industries, the communication sector, because the communication, the amount of money that they pack and send away from the shores of Ghana, because it's also entirely foreign dominance, without any retention. That is so huge and even bigger than the imports that we do.
And that is the president of GUTA, there, Dr. Joseph Obeng.
Do you have a permit of using this place as temporal garage?
No, we don't have.
You don't have a permit. So you know it's against the law.
Like I'm saying, not all the cars.
That's the unmistakable voice of the AMA Public Health Director Florence Kuchi calling for the arrest of an auto mechanic at Kolegono in today's Joy Clean Ghana campaign. His offense is for indiscriminately parking broken down vehicles on the shoulders of the street. Let's hear the interaction.
Not all the cars which are for us. There are some.
Can you show us the cars that are for you?
Just the one here, the one. But the rest, the one that parked at the other side for the. And this car.
I'm coming. Do you know this is a road?
Oh, yeah.
Yes or no?
Oh yeah.
You know this is a road. So if you park here and you park here, what are you expecting road users to do?
Oh, this is just temporary. We are coming to remove.
It's temporary.
Never temporary. This has been.
Do you have I'm coming. Do you have a permit of using this place temporary from the assembly? Yes
it's
or
like
no?
Somebody is coming to you.
It's the question. Do you have a permit?
That's it for the Joy Clean Ghana campaign. Today we'll bring you more in our subsequent bulletins. Keep your environs clean. The team may be next in your vicinity. Time now for the Ghana Man series. And this week we shine the light on indigenous Ghanaian dances. Today we'll tell you about Bobobo, the genre and dance of the Ewe people of the Volta and Oti regions, ignited by the stroke of drums, metals, and ecstatic singing. My colleague Justice Bedu went to see the Ghana Dance Ensemble perform at the University of Ghana, and here's his report.
My name is Dr. Na Hago. I am a lecturer at the Department of Dance Studies, and I'm also the artistic director for Ghana Dance Ensemble. Bobo simply means bend, bobo, go down and bend. It came out of the result of popular dance. It was derived from beats of kokoma dance and then music and then high life and all those kind of things. So these are derivatives, okay? And the community picked it up and then introduced the drums to it. And so it became, over a period of time, it transited from becoming a popular dance into a traditional dance. To dance bobobo, you need handkerchiefs, okay? And the handkerchief become an extension of the hand. So it's almost like you are coiling, okay, or you are twirling your hands. You are holding two ends of the handkerchief and then you are turning them inside out like a fan. All right. Now, that when you perform it this way, then you bend over also, and then you lower your knees, okay, with your torso or your upper body tilting forward. That is where we bobo. That's where you go down and bend, okay, and then you articulate your legs. And when you perform bobo with your two handkerchiefs, and you bend over, torso down or your upper body down with your knees bent, and then you articulate your legs, as in you move your legs up and down, then your buttocks, okay, those are on the heavy side, the buttocks shake, all right. Then the men also try their best to also articulate their buttocks. And when you start playing the drums, these drums speak our languages. These drums speak our aspirations, our ethos, okay. So the more often that we play, compared to electronic music, the drum music and dance performances tend to stay longer, and sometimes, depending on how good it was composed, it transcends the popularity in becoming a traditional dance.
The Bobo Dance. That's Justice Bedo's report for our Ghana Man series, and that's how we end the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. Our top story this hour: Supreme Court unanimously rules that a deputy speaker can't vote in Parliament and form part of a quorum for decision making. We heard from the minority describing the decision as travesty of justice. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Ernest. Up next is Dr. Mensa Otabil with Living Word.
Business no a bit to say. So the projections from the first quarter show a higher total gross profit for the fiscal year. A bit me a kasa say
Nana, goods not land you. It did the port right here.
A bit me a say.
Here are your items. Thank you for coming.
A bit me a kasa say
yes, 2 for 10 cedi. Me no 10 cedi. 2 for 10 cedi.
What you know a bit me a code and found business away. The beer will be